Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Srimadananda Tirtha Bhagavat Padacharyobhyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Sthititolaya Nidhi Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparitam Adiprabhudan Vadan Rasya Kritavan Bhuvitatvavatam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Ananda Tirthamunivaram Namami पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विश्वविदावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Welcome friends once again to our journey of Kathopanishad. As we have seen as we have began our the third valley of the second adhyaya, this is the sixth valley of the entire Kathopanishad, the ultimate chapter of it. So we have seen, what this chapter is likely to bring about. It brings finally, having gone through the entire Upanishad, having gone through the entire sadhanas, having gone through the entire, because post sadhana, whatever, what we have to derive out of the sadhanas, what we have done, what finally it offers is the glorious vision of our life. When we mean a glorious vision of our life, did we not have that glorious vision of our life? Yes, we had, to the extent, what we could perceive and what we could understand and what we could experience. But this glorious vision of the life is much more than what we have experienced so far. So during this glorious vision of the life, finally what it brings about is, it is the glorifying the ultimate power, whether you want to call it consciousness or the life force or the God, or whether you want to give whatever the denomination, the name that has been given in the Abrahamic religion or the other religions, or in our Sanatana, we do have quite a bit of gods and we do have the powers, and we are referring it to the consciousness by different names, and the entire consciousness being represented by one symbol, the pranava. The pranava om, because we've seen, how does it represent, whatever be the name by which you call it, final ultimate Brahman is being denoted by the symbolic denotion is Brahman. That om has got the such ultimate power. It is because it is made of, because the four letters a, u, ma, and then it is nada. All the four together makes up the name om. So then we have seen, because how each of them, represents the particular state of our life. As our waking state, because that is represented by a, the u is the representing our the dreaming stage, and the ma represents our deep sleep stage, and nada represents the turiya stage. Turiya stage is nothing but the fourth ultimate state, one could reach, by doing, because whatever, he has to do in this world, as well as experience whatever he can gain. Whatever he can gain in this life, because that is what finally we got it. Turiya doesn't mean, anything different. It is only says it is the fourth state. The fourth state is the final evoluted state. When you evolute the state, you do not have anything to gain or anything to offer or anything to lose. Nothing is there. When that state is attained, you are at the equilibrium. You are not going to be bothered about anything, because you are not possessive about anything, but you may be having the possession. You may be having the possession of a very good qualities. You may be having the possession of a wealth. You may be having the possession of the name, fame, everything and all. But you are not going to be possessive. That is the state, because what we can call it Turiya. At that point of time, doesn't matter to you, because they've all come, because because you don't, your purpose is different. Your purpose is to finding yourself, and you are always experiencing the awareness of yourself in relation to all other creatures in this world. So when we are having that, because the glorious vision of the life, because we have summarized as it is understanding the glory of the Lord. How we understand the glory of the Lord? Finally, we said, the highest evolution in the in the created creatures is the human being. How? Because we have been endowed with every faculty to understand and experience this whole world. And in fact, we have been given a most important thing is body, through which, because we are able to experience this world, the senses are working for us, and sensibilities are enabling us to experience everything. And the take that entire, because the learning from the experiences into us, and finally the mind process it, and finally intellect, because sifts it. And finally, the sifted and the purified intellect is available to know the discriminating power, what is right and what is wrong. And this what is right and wrong now, that is not the be all and end of it. It continuously evolves as you gain the experience. It is not the one time experience, it is a continuous work in progress. As you go through that, you will get through that particular stage, and you will have to experience every time, because it is a sort of gain every day. It is not an incremental gain, it's a dimensional gain. Every day your dimension changes. So once you know that, because that is what you have been given, and why, and then you are not going to be considering yourself special. You are like anyone else. So therefore, you will be respecting everyone. You will be glorifying the internal power which is giving you everything, and whether you want to call it consciousness, Lord, or whatever name you call it, and as well as you will be respecting all others and are around you, because they are also having been endowed with a similar sort of power, which enables them to work in this world. And not only that, our job is to we have to because live in harmony with all other creatures. That's what we have been repeatedly telling. But because then we will find what is the reason for that, why it is being told, why the scriptures bring about, because you are harmony with to live with all other creatures in this world. And otherwise, because what is that is going to happen. It is being going to be explained in a different similes, which we have seen one of the similes last week, and we will also be seeing because one more similes which is going to follow. And in that process, what we'll do, we'll be very magnanimous. We will be accommodating everyone, because after all, because this is a place, because you are not going to, because you are nobody to control, because you have been controlled by someone, you have been given the power by someone. Who are you? The similar one is controlling so many others. So when we are here, we are challenged to put aside our narrow vision of the life. That is what finally we are asked to do our best in reflecting the glory of the power in us. And then we are asked to see everything else that shines around, with the great respect. Because everything shines around those who are having the similar power, all other beings, all other creatures, they are also shine around us. We will have to respect them. We will have to glorify the power which has given us, enabling us to do it. We will have to respect who are having the similar power, all other creatures are having the same power, all other beings are having the same power. And we will be magnanimous, we will not be having a narrow vision of the life. Cringed vision of the life will not be there. You will be opening up, so well, because you will be able to accommodate every point of view. Finally, because from that experience, you should be able to take what enables you to work through you with your capacity and capability which you have acquired. This is the purpose, we have been trying to do. In that context only, we have seen two mantras in this particular chapter. This is in the page 125, and because we will be 125, we have got two mantras, 2.3.2 and 2.3.3. Two mantras are there. One is the terror of the thunderbolt, we have seen last year. Last week we have seen how, because that entire cosmos is working to an order, because there is someone, who is keeping that order. Why it has been brought about, why the cosmos is in order, why sun is, because only rising in the east and setting in the west. Why, because certain events happen, the cosmic event happens at the regulated, we see, because certain every 15 days, the sun is and the moon is, because waxing, and every 15 days it is waning, because of course, we know these are all the, because we are in the earth and we are able to see that way only. And all these things have been set as it is. It is not happening 16 days. It is not happening 17 days. It is all happening to an order. When it is happening to an order, when someone is trying to keep that in order, what is that means? It is all working to an immaculate perfection. You cannot build any mission, any other system, which can work to immaculate perfection. However, it is being human beings, whatever we create, will have a perfection to the extent, everything operate. Everything has got an expiry value. You will have to replace, and because there is no replacement of, because the planet, there is no renewal of the planet. There is no maintenance schedule for the planets. It's all happening. How it is happening, how they are all into the particular, the mode in which they are operating, and they are making it hospitable for us to live on this earth. We were, talking about even a 0.001 degree, shift in the axis of the sun, all of us would have been burnt alive, because the world will not be there. Even if there is a small, because there is a disturbance, we are not able to tolerate, because of course, we have made our own climatic changes, and, because in that process, whatever happens, we are not able to, our own actions, we are not able to bear. If the cosmic, system also try to work like that, we will not be able to be having the, because the existence in this earth at all. The existence itself has been finally offered by keeping all these system in order. That's what we have to understand. Who has maintained that? Whether you want to believe in a God or, because it's up to you, but there is a power. This is basically to bring about, there is no point in arguing about, because whether there is a power, it is there very much, you don't, because it is, I think only if you are totally, blind to these things, you will not. That is why Upanishad brings it. It brings it, because in such a way, it is like a hammer and tongue, because it just gives the beating in such a way, no one can give about, because no one will be able to keep the ignorance, and they will have to get enlightened. There is a power, because this is what even those who are calling themselves so atheist, even those who are telling, there is only a shunyavada, because there are certain philosophies they are advocating that, because there is nothing like a god and all, everything happened on its own. The entire cosmic system has evolved on its own. To answer that, because this has been brought about, you may say, because everything is how they have been created. They could have gone different way only in how they have been kept in order. Even if they are created, how they have been created in a particular way. Why? Because sometimes the stars vanish. Why? Because you are able to see, the entire span of the sea, when you go in front of the sea to the extent, your eyes can reach. But afterwards, because you are able to keep that memory in you, but, when you are able to see, you are able to appreciate, yes, this is what I have seen. How those things, you are able to capture, how those natural, because the wonder of the mystics of the nature that happens, you are able to enjoy and keep it yourself. And whenever, it undergoes a change, when you are not able to tolerate, because the change that happens, the vicious change that happens, because that's also taken, because there is a natural process into that. But then they also get rectified, because there is a storm. Of course, the storm is over, because there is a perfect, because the, like, everything comes to the balance. The balance is sometimes disturbed because now all of us are not in harmony. That's why it is happening. So that is why, because the second mantra was brought in about, which we have seen last week. Yatitam kincha jagat sarvam prana yejati nishritam. Because the entire prana, because prana is the one which is considered to be the ultimate power. Prana is the one who gives the prana to everyone, and he himself is called prana because he is being referred to as prana in our scriptures. Because it is also being, that is why we call it Mukhya Prana. Mukhya Prana is the one who does everything at the instance of the prana, the creator, Brahman, who does it. And he comes, he takes different forms and different ways, and he gives different energy to different beings, and finally it happens. Because the animals don't the animal don't, because they do the things in a way like other plants do. The plants grow in their own way, they don't follow the animals. Human beings don't behave like animals. Insects don't behave like animals. We don't behave like insects, because all of us have been, how we are able to function, because the entire energy that has been converged to create diverse beings, that is being, we call it, the Mukhya Prana, the one, the power, which finally gives the energy to different beings for different purposes. That is why everything is able to be happening in this world. That is why we will have to live in harmony with all other creatures, because they have been given particular job, they have been given, assigned a particular role, and they are playing their role, and we will have to play our role. But instead of we playing the role, we want to play the role of others. That's why, the entire conflict happens, because when we are able to do our own role, nothing will not, everything will go fine. But when we try to impinge on someone's role and try to take it up, that is where the conflict happens. When the conflict comes, because the conflict resolution, when we are not able to do, the nature itself does it. That's why so many things are happening. This is exactly, and then why it is being said that, and then why they are, because Kim Jagat, the whole universe, with the whoever is in it, emerges from Brahman and vibrates with prana. The prana is the one finally giving the energy. When you are vibration, that's why we are all called, because 99% vibration and 1% is the material, what we have. So this vibration is the one, which is being reflected, our personality is being reflected by the vibration we emanate. And because our entire the sort of the power what we have is being emanated by that, not the form in which we are, how I am dressing, how I am looking, and all that doesn't matter at all, because finally the vibration is coming because of your internal process, your thoughts. Your thoughts have got energy. When you think, act, your thought, the energy, your words, and finally act, all the three are unison. That is where you will have the glorious vision of the life. That is exactly, and how it is being Satchit Anantam. When they say Anantam, when they say Sat is the truth, because when your truth is there in the words, that is, truth is being felt by you, and truth is in your words, and truth is that truthfully you act. That is the final end. Because when you are able to evolve, you will be trying to do everything accordingly. There will not be any sort of a distortion between what you are thinking and what you are speaking and what you are acting. That's why there is a very famous, because the Tamil poet, because Namakal Ramalingam Pillai has said, Solluvadi Ellorkum Sulabamagum, Sonnabadi Nadapavargal Mihavum Sorpam, Tululagil Namarinda Talaivardamul, Uttamanar Gandhi Pol Orvarund. One who speaks, one who acts, and one who thinks that way, because that is all unison. There is no change in whatsoever. So this has to be brought about, and why? Because it's brought about, the entire cosmos is functioning like that. The sun sets, sun always rises in the east and sets in the west. Wherever you are, which part of you are, it does it. And then because the moon comes, waxes and wanes, and because the cosmic events have taken place, because of the appropriate time, certain rare cosmic events come, because which we are not able to understand. Finally, the scientists say this is what is happening. They are also happening because of there is a power, which has guided that. So we will see, more into that. And as we are seeing, Mahad Bhayam Vajramudyatam. Because all these things are happening, it has been said in Upanishadic terms, there is a Mahat Bhayam, because they will work immaculately because they have been controlled by someone. The boss who is controlling, the power, ultimate Brahman who is controlling, Mahat Bhayam in the sense, they say Bhayam in the sense, not that, because he's a dictator and he will be doing everything and all. He has set everything in such a fine, immaculate fashion. You will have to work like that only. You can't be a cog in the wheel. You will have to do your role. You will have to perform your role. Why these things are? Because finally, because how we will see, because this will, our entire thing will be applicable to us. And it instills the terror, in the sense, because suppose if the sun wants to work its own way, because the other planets like to, what will happen? Because there will be a chaos, because they can't work, because they have been kept in that order. It is like that. Even the scientists have found, because they have all been kept in that axis, and even if there is a change, others also adjust their axis in such a way, because the change is taken care of. So who is doing all these things? Those who know this become immortal, in the sense, what is that I am going to become immortal by knowing, this cosmic. Every day I am seeing the sun, every day, because moon is also there in the night. What is that I am doing? You will have to just apply. When we talked about the glory of the Lord, when you see, the glory of the Lord, who has created and how all these things are happening. Why, take our own body. What is that, because is it that, simply, I am having, all of us are having a body. What is so great about it? That's what, we may think. But what is that, potential, what is that, the power that has been given to the body? It itself is a wonderful creation. Don't look at cosmic, because we talked about that entire cosmic creation is almost being analogous to the creation of the human, the wonder of the human body. It's complex systems, because the brain has got a processing power. Almost we have got 1 billion neurons, because they are all being there in the brain, and they are making the synaptic connections by which, you are able to acquire, remember, and act everything that is happening. Your limbic brains are, controlling, your entire limbs, and because the entire the body functions and all. You got the circulatory system. It is almost 100,000 miles. It can 4 times the Earth to equator. It can go around. It is such a 100 trillion cells. It composed of it, and 6,000 skin particles shed every hour. They say we don't realize. 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs skin particles shed every hour. They say there are so many million cells, because they are being regenerated every hour. Are we aware of that? Because we know we are eating, we have been there, and we have been traveling, we are eating, we are merrymaking, and we are attending this, we are attending all functions, and we are also, doing about it, whatever comes to our mind, it attracts, it is sort of enjoyable to us, we do it, because we avoid certain things, which is not pleasant to us. All those things are it. But when you are doing all these things, body is taking care of itself. Whatever you read is being converted into energy, and the energy is how it has been converted, because the prana, apana, vyana, what we have talked about, it has to convert the energy. Your breath, because when it takes place, it does, it gets into the 5 different aspects of, the entire body is being, circulatory system is also being, energy distribution is there. Finally, the entire energy is being taken to the upper part of the body, because where your heart functions, as well as, because your brain is able to be supplied, with all the energy, so that your synaptic connections are there. It is a huge complex system. If you see the anatomy of the body, that itself is a wonderful creation. Who has created that? And how is it being maintained? And your body is able to take care of, because its own sort of a purposes, and as well as it is able to keep itself, protected. But when you try to interfere, your body protection is being meddled with. That is why, we are finding ourselves, because having diseases and being treated with the external medicines, which goes and plays with the body metabolism. If we could have, adopted a life in synchronizing with the nature, as well as going by, because maintaining our own disciplines, as the sun is maintaining the discipline of rising in the east and setting in the west, and all other planets are in appropriate places and giving and taking the energy and doing their own way. And if we allow the body to function, we would have also been disease free and happily having a wonderful life. But we are not able to do that. Basically, why this is going, everything is working, because it is the Mahat Bhayam, because they are all sort of, because they will just work under the, because they can't just break the rules. But we break the rules. When we break the rules, entire, when we break the rules of our body, body surface, when we break the rules of living in harmony with the other things, the entire conflict happens. That is why, the continuous, the chaos and the conflicts that happens in this world, that has been brought about, very beautifully with this simile. And the next mantra, is going further into that simile. 2.3.3, it is the mantra in the same page 125. You can see the order in the cosmos. The same thing, because the terror and thunderbolt, all those things, edita kincham jagat sarvam prana ejati nishritam, because all the creation, everything is working, because there is an order. And then Mahat Bhayam, Vajramudyatam, because it is like uplifted thunderbolt, because they are very uplifted thunderbolt in the sense, because that if something goes wrong, because it will be set right. There is a stick to take care of that. Carrot, it's not the carrot and sticks, no question of carrot. It is only the stick, because everything functions precisely, purposely as assigned. So once you allow your body also to function like that, you will be, because we are not allowing the body to function, because when I don't have a hunger, mind says hunger, because say it is something, why can't I take it? I take it. If I take it, because then I am just trying to interfere with the system. And when something is good, because when I go to for a dinner or a lunch, something good is kept, and because I don't like it, because I have never like Karela, and I don't take it and all. But then it must be good for the health, because I am not taking it, because I am depriving the body of, what it should be getting it. Likewise, it is we, because the mind, act, even, when your senses don't want it, you try to interfere with them. And that is how when the entire thing happens, they are indirectly bringing this concept. You try to be as, because look, listen to your body. as the cosmic powers are listening, because as well as acting, to the biggest, the Mahatbayam, because who is also Vajra Mudyatam, because he is having the thunderbolt in his hand, he can always, yeah, etat hiram udaste bhavanti, because if you are saying amrutam bhavanti, once you know eham itam amrta bhavanti. Etat viduh, once you know etat viduh, once you know this is it, this is the final bliss. Once you allow it to work in its way without interfering it, and as well as in synchronize with that. That means once you have a self-control on your tongue and on your lifestyle, you will be able to have everything best. And the next mantra is saying Bayastya Agnipati, Agni Tapati, Bayat Tapati Surya, Bayat Tasya Agnihi Tapati. See, Agni also, even the fire burns because Tapati, because it's also afraid there is someone, who is going to take care of them if they don't perform. The fire, has got different purposes. In the nuclear explosion, the fire has got a different purpose. In the kitchen, it has got a different purpose. And it is in the factory, it has got a different purpose. And in the volcano, it has got a different purpose. It all does its purpose, because it has got a different manifestation. It does it, and as in volcano, when it is being erupted, because then finally there will be a lot of chaos. But then after the volcano, you get a lot of minerals. Finally they are metamorphosed, and that's how you're getting all the minerals which we are making use of. All those things comes, even your all the precious metal, because they are all because of this metamorphosis that is taking place under the ground. So when this is that is happening, they are all working, because to that particular, but the fear of him in the sense, because they are working to that precision. See, for your in your own body, because your tongue is not, because like not getting cut, with the teeth, because they are functioning, with a sort of precision. That's not, because they are not afraid of us, because they're afraid of the power who is made us, because that we have been made, and because who has delivered us, into this world, and he has made it. That's why, when you speak, you are able to speak, and your tongue is able to work, in unison with your, the teeth. Nothing happens. And when you are talking also, because your left lungs are 10% less than the right lungs. It has been designed so that, because you are able to breathe properly, and it was able to give the energy. And when I am speaking, and the tongue is in, because the lungs are enabling, because they are also enabling the power to speak, as well as they are also doing the job of breathing and processing the air and cleaning it. That's also happening. They are doing it simultaneously. They are not doing not because of the fear of me, because it's happening to all of us, because fear of the power was created. That is how you should rather, glorify the Lord, how he has created, how he has, because my fingers are moving and I'm able to lift the finger, because that's why even Ramana Maharishi, someone asked, where is the God? He said, you try to raise your finger. Who made your finger to rise? He's the God. The power that made you to raise your finger, because suddenly one day you will find, you are not able to raise your finger. That means, because that power is not there at that point of time. That is the power. Glorify that Lord. Respect, because they everyone. And be magnanimous. Once you know you have been given so much of a power to bring into this world and live in this world, why don't you do that? Because this is exactly the turning. Bayat tapati suryaha, bayat indra cha vayu hai. For fear of him, proceed Indra and Vayu. Indra, because the one we have got, all the five elements. So the Indra is being considered, because the space, and as well as the Vayu, because Vayu has got various dimensions. Nasika Vayu is there, Mukhya Prana, because the other type of Vayus are there. All Vayus, because the one which we are breathing in and out, because the Nasika Vayu, and it finally Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, the days. And the other Vayus, because the Prana, they are all giving energy to so many other things. So when those things, Indra and Chavayu and Agni as well as Surya, the four elements they have said. Finally, they said Mrityu Davati Panchamaha. What Mrityu? We have seen Yama. Let us understand, one thing. Let's not forget. It is the Yama who is telling us now. The Yama, the god of death, is giving this, imparting this particular knowledge to Nachiketa, through Nachiketa to all of us, to the entire universe, the entire human society, the mankind he is telling. He is telling, because all these great elements, they are all the masters, because they are the one, who is controlling the entire, and the five moment, the cosmic powers. when they are all working under such, because of fear, when they brought it, it's not, he is a dictator. They will have to work, when the government is there, the Department of Atomic Energy, will be working for developing the atomic power, whether for the purposes of production of energy or otherwise. And the Department of Finance will be working for, because collecting taxes and other things. There are so many departments will be doing their own job. Likewise, so many of them are doing their function under the power of one. Like the government is headed by one, because he's the one, he's that power. The Brahman is the one who hates everything else. Like he not only hates everything else, and he's also, it's not only the Brahmanda and in the Pindanda, including the creation like us. His power, because of that, because he has given the power, and because of that, because we are maintaining ourselves, with the whatever little control we have, the all these, the organs are functioning in unison. Because if hand says, I'm not going to cooperate with you, I will have to go to the doctor, because the hand will have to work in unison with, I will have to take the food in the hands, has to pick up the food and take it to the mouth and put it there, and then only I will be able to have it. All of them are working. We think we have taken for granted, but this entire complex system is working so well. And you don't, because still do you think, because who has created you, and you are trying to question and all, you are not able to glorify that power. And what are you, because that is how, it brings about. Because by now, having come to the sixth chapter, and we should have understood, having gone through the entire five chapters, we have already seen everything, and we have got shreyas, prayers, what is delightful, what is dignified for us, what is good for us, and what is pleasant for us, and we have seen, and how we will have to have a regulated life to keep our thing and all. Because once you have a regulated life, in the sense, in your food, in your habits, in your speaking, in your action, that will be wonderful. Once you are keeping yourself, once you are able to do the breath properly, once you are able to do, because every day is, because in pranayama, because people do nowadays, in lot and all, even otherwise, pranayama is everyday ritual, because we are supposed to be doing it. By doing that, what is happening? We are trying to keep optimize the energy inside us, and trying to help the body to function its full potential. And when we are having this, and when we are able to have a discipline of everything, and then body is able to function wonderfully, and it has got a big factory in it. It can reduce enzyme, and it can sort of prevent any disease. It can fight any bacteria. It can fight any virus. It has got the potential. But because of our habits, because it is being, because decelerated, its ability is being decelerated. By virtue of that, we will have to supplement with the medicines which work against the metabolism of the body. That is how we become addicted to the medicine. That is how, without medicine also, we will be able to live, had we followed all those things. This is, of course, it's good that now we have realized, and at least now we can try to do that, so that we can try to keep the minimum medicines as minimum as possible. Perhaps, over a period of time, we can get rid of the medicine also, because if the body will be listening, to its own metabolism, and it will go with its own capacity and capability beautifully. Like cosmic function is there, like the sun and moon and everything, because created, they don't get any sort of, there is no maintenance engineer for them. It all being happening, because there is a power. So this is what has been brought about in this only, because they are further going about it. One of the things, because that is being talked about. Well, in all these things, if it is happening, if it is that is going to be the, because what is the purpose of it? Why? Because this is exactly, we will be seeing next few mantras. Because you have been given such a wonderful instrument of a body. Without body, you will not be able to experience this world. Without body, your mind will not be able to get, because all the process the information. Finally, you will not be able to develop your intellect. And finally, your intellect can't be honed further, your wisdom can't be taken to the highest possible level with this, because you need the body. Why? Because then only, you'll be able to, having been given this wonderful body as the highest evolution of the human being, we should make full use of it. How will be able to make full use of it? That's why, we said that once you understand the glory of this particular creation, and once you are able to observe the cosmic creation, how it is working so unison, and without any problem so well. And the same thing is being reflected in our own functioning of the body as well as in our own functioning in this world. The next step is, we have taken it up in the sadhanas, what we have seen on all, because how we have to function in this world. Paranchikani vetaranath swayambhu. Because the entire world, because takes us, to his own ways, in the sense, it gives a lot of attraction. The samsara, what we call, is always ever expanding. It will be like one after the other, because it will go on expanding till such time you put an end to that. Even when we saw the inverted tree, the first mantra, it is a sanatana, everlasting. It doesn't go off, it is there always. You have seen, because the inverted tree, the power comes from there, because then grows down. Normally, we are not able to perceive it, because that is only in Adhyatma you will be able to perceive it. As you will be able to see the reflection in the water of a tree, you will be able to see the inverted tree, but you will not be able to see otherwise the inverted tree. But for what we have to understand is, because this entire tree, when it grows with all these sort of attendant, because attendant sort of a distractions. But once you are getting into that, because you will not be able to perceive and go into the root and find out, because like inverted tree, you will be able to see finally the root. I think, because the Mula Prakriti is there, and the roots are there on the ground, which is the fertile ground, which the God has been given to entire creatures to flourish. And we will not be able to understand that. Because once you are able to do that, once you are able to find as a tree, because once you know, you get expanded into this world, you will not be, takes a lot of effort to come back and to find out ourselves. Once you go into the Dhyatma, it is like taking a selfie. The selfie, you will be seeing the other way around. So once you get into the Adhyatma, you don't see the world around you. You are able to see, what is the power that is inside. And you are able to perceive the same power is inside in everyone else. That's why, you are able to get the glorious vision of the Lord, because it is a glorious vision of the Lord. You see the wonder of the body, how it is able to make you function despite, because little sort of discomforts and deformities, I may be having, still I am able to function. But of course, all these days, he has given me perfect health, because what did I do? I just, didn't care about it. I went my own way. I took my food. I had my own sort of, the practices and all. Finally, because the result is that it is, I am responsible. Once you know you have exercised a choice, and you should take the responsibility for the choice. If you take the responsibility for the choice, then you will be living with it, and finally you will be able to have your thoughts, words, and actions will be unison. Why? Because when we have taken the choice, how we have taken the choice, because of the what appeared to be right at that time, I have taken the choice. But am I always sticking to the choice? Because I am taking, let me see what happens. I'm not convinced, because once you take a choice, you fully put into that. Why? Because you will have to once you exercise the choice, you will be fully working on that. You will have to sort of take it, as a sort of a child and grow it, to its maturity. How you do? Then you are totally convinced. You are having a confidence in doing it. But you are not taking the responsibility for our choice. Most of the things that is making us to have suffering or distress in this world is we are exercising the choice, but we are not taking the responsibility for that. Once you know the exercising the choice comes out of the wisdom, because free will is not something free will and all, because you've got so many things in front of you in the buffet. What you are picking up, because what the mind says. The mind, because based on, because you have developed reflections you have made, it will tell you, depending upon, because the level of evolution, you will be able to pick up the right dish. Once you exercise a choice, whatever be the choice, don't worry about it, whether it is a right choice or wrong choice. Once you have reflected, once you are done, and once you have taken responsibility for the choice, go through that. Nothing will go wrong. Assuming even there are, because there is likely to be some sort of a sort of obstructions, which you may feel, that will also go off. Perhaps, it will lead you to another choice. But then, every time you exercise a choice, you will have to take the responsibility. We are not taking the responsibility. I did that, but I am not getting it. How we will getting it? But have you taken the responsibility? You just think over, you would not have taken the responsibility yet. Or you would have taken the responsibility, just a flippant responsibility. You would not have taken an abiding responsibility. So therefore, what it says is, because once you know you got been given such a power, and such a wonderful body has been given with all the anatomical features, and you have, because try to keep it as best as possible, and that will give you, because trying to reflect, because once you are having the glory of the Lord and you are able to respect, and you are not special, and everyone else is having it, and when you are able to finally, because the magnanimous enough to accommodate, everything and all. So when you are exercising choice, you will not be going with fear or favor, and because your own sort of a conditionalities will not happen. You will just go by, yes, this is available to me, let me go. And once you have done that, you go with the full responsibility. 100% you will succeed. You will definitely succeed once you exercise a choice with the consciousness, with your conscious decision, and because whatever, once you are committed yourself and you go through the full process and take the full responsibility, you will certainly be a victor and you will never be a victim. But very often, because we think, because we are victims in this world, this is, while life has not been kind to me, because the situation has not been kind to me, I was a victim of circumstances. That is the one. Where is the circumstances? Who created circumstances? We created the circumstances. Our thoughts created the circumstances. How thoughts have come? Because the thoughts, because we not our own conviction, because we have seen something else, and because we thought, because this is how I love to, this is available, let me try this and all, because even though your mind, may not be fully into that, your intellect never been accepting the choice you were made, and never it propel you to take the choice you are taking. That's why once you take a reflection and don't take a decision, don't make a choice, very fast. Try to think over and try to, because never say, because yes to anything till such time you are convinced. But once you are convinced and you have said yes, prana jaye par vachan na jaye, you will have to hold on to that. That is the moral compass on by which you can live. And finally, this entire thing are being brought about. Why it has been brought about? Because when you are trying to break, the moral code of conduct, what you will be doing, when you are exercising the choice, when you are not taking the responsibility, you will be breaking the ethical and moral code of conduct, by which, because the entire humanity is functioning. You will also find a lot of other people are also breaking the ethical and moral code of conduct. Why not? What is that? Great thing. I am also doing it. Yes, do it, but at your own choice, at your own consequences. Once you do that, because you will be breaking yourself. Like, if the sun say things, because I will not be rising in the east, I will try to go a little northeast. Will it function? Because the entire cosmic, chaos will be there. Likewise, once you think, you exercise a choice, and because it is not that you are only breaking your rules, and it will only break you when you are broken in, and then you will not be able to come out of that. That becomes is impossible stress and impossible this one. And then you will find, unless you are able to get back with these, the disciplines like cosmic functioning, with all the disciplines, and likewise you also function. You have been given such a wonderful anatomy, the body, and through which you are able to get this entire experiences. Be one with it and try to nourish it and use that power, because to so that you are able to have your thoughts, actions, and words in unison, because by glorifying the entire power with you, and because as well as you are able to see the divinity everywhere around, and you are able to be, because opening up in the sense, you are able to, you don't have any sort of a fear or favor, and because you are able to go, and that will be the ultimate happiness. That is the amritatva, that is the immortality, nothing else. Why? Because it is being brought about, because the cosmic and this one, and finally the same power who created the cosmic is inside you. It's no different. Nehananasti kinchana, we have seen in this particular Upanishad itself. Nor it is different for any other religion, any other power, and all of them are trying to pray to the supreme power, because and get the best, for this world and for themselves. No, that of, because no right religion, will be thinking of, only, our clan should be good and others should not be. It is for the humanity. It is the Vasudeva Kudumbakam. Vasudeva Kudumbakam in the sense the entire whole world has to be covered and encompassed. So once it is there, and let us try to understand this is it, what has been brought about. So therefore, it is the same power who is inside us and who is also keeping the entire cosmic in order. We will have to keep ourselves in order, our thoughts in order, our actions in order, as well as our words in order. Once you are having it, it will be wonderful. Why it should be done? Because you have been given the one and the only opportunity having a highly evolved human being. Ikacheti Vedi, you will be able to get. Navedi, we have seen it is a catastrophe. In Kathopanishad, we have seen. Likewise, because we will also be seeing a similar sort of a mantra in this Upanishad also to guide us. This is the wonderful opportunity we have been given, so wonderful and all, because we are able to, you should be able to look at your body once. What a great mission it is. Let us understand ourselves with the glory of ours and the glory of the entire cosmic being and the glory of the entire power which is guiding all of us and the cosmic power. Let us try to get into the mode in which finally we will be able to flourish into a wonderful being for which we have taken the purpose. With this, we will be concluding today's session. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai. तेजस्विनावदीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Prabhupada, everything is fine?
ஹலோ, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க ராமச்சந்திரன்?
ஃபைன் ஃபைன். எங்க பெங்களூர் தானே? எங்க இருக்கீங்க?
இங்க பெங்களூர் தான். பாலாஜி ஃபேமிலி வந்து நிஷா அவந்திகா வந்திருந்தாங்க.
ஓ வண்டர்ஃபுல் வண்டர்ஃபுல்.
they are returning tomorrow evening.
ஓ ஓகே ஓகே. அதான் போன வாரம் உங்களை பார்க்க முடியல. அது கரெக்ட்.
ஆமா, அவ ஒரே கலாட்டா. நிறைய இருக்கு.
And Bangalore they will have a lot of options also to enjoy குழந்தைகளுக்கு.
இருக்கு. எங்க வீட்டை விட்டு இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் இன்னும் 1 வருஷம் 2 வருஷம் ஆனோம் வெளியில எல்லாம் போய் இது பண்றதுக்கு. இல்லைன்னா யாராவது ஒருத்தர் தூக்கிக்கணும், இல்லைன்னா ஒருத்தர் இது பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிட்டு பண்றா. வாழை ஒரு இடத்துல நிக்கிறது இல்ல.
ஒண்டர்ஃபுல். ஐ திங்க் உங்களுக்கு டைம் போறதே தெரியாது.
டைம் போறதே தெரியல. அது நம்ம இங்க இப்படின்னு ஸ்ட்ரைட்